Hello, Rising Star third graders. I'm Mr. Marks, and today we're going to be working on day 3 of week 1 of Making Meaning. We will be looking at Unit 8, Determining Important Ideas, Expository Fiction, Nonfiction, and Drama. And today we're going to be doing the Read Aloud Guided Strategy with an article called Homework, Who Needs It? And we'll be hearing and discussing the opinion article. We'll be identifying what you learned from the article. And you'll also be thinking about important ideas from the article. And this is part of our main idea of our determining important ideas. One of the things we'll be doing today is think, pair, share. We'll be thinking about the article and we'll think about the reasons that the author gives for their opinion. And then later on, probably tomorrow, the next lesson is you're going to be writing and comparing people's opinions. So be ready for that. All right, today, readers, your job is to pay attention to these student learning targets. You're going to hear and discuss an opinion article. You're going to identify what you learned from the article. You're going to think about important ideas in the article. You're going to read later on independently for up to 25 minutes or more. And one of the biggest things here you really should be paying attention to is giving reasons for your thinking and also paying attention to the reasons for other people's thinking, especially those of the author. So, and also practice using complete sentences like saying, the reason I think this is, and then you can give a reason. So, I have my friends Batman and Robin back again today, and they'll be helping out as well. When we're doing our turn of talks. First, I'll probably want you to think and talk yourself, then hit pause, and then you can talk with anybody you have nearby, even if it's a wall, or some nice little Lego pieces, or you can draw your own little picture and talk to that, if need be. Anyway, I'm sure there's probably plenty of people around that you probably say hello to. Hello to everybody, all your families out there. I hope everyone's staying safe and getting through this tough time. I'm with you. So I digress. So here's the article we're going to be reading today. It's Homework, Who Needs It? And just take a look at it right now. Look at the pictures. You see some kids there? Can you make an inference about how they're feeling in those pictures? Also, you look at the captions. It says kids need time to be kids after school. Homework can cause stress for the whole family. So looking at the subheadings, let kids be kids, let families be families, and who likes homework. These are all parts that these subsections will be kind of telling us what the author feels about homework. And some of you could probably be making an inference already. So we're going to be doing the similar things that we did last time. We're going to read this article 2 times. And oh, I'm sorry. Robin has his hand up right here. He had a question he was going to ask. Are we going to do the same thing we did yesterday? Like, we're going to read the first time and then pay attention to what we learned in the reading? Yes, Robin, that's right. The first time we're going to be reading is that we're going to be paying attention to what we're learning in the different sections. Oh, yes, Batman has his hand raised. Yes, are we going to be thinking about the reasons the author gives in the second reading? Exactly. In the second reading, we'll be thinking that. So thank you, Batman Robin, for your help today. All right, so this is the first section. We're going to read this twice. This is the first reading. The title is Homework, Who Needs It? Is homework good for kids? Do kids learn more if they do homework? Teachers, students, and parents have been debating these questions for years. Many studies have looked at the impact of homework on student learning. But there is no clear evidence that homework helps students learn more. In fact, one 2012 study found no significant relationship between time spent on homework and grades. That's one argument against homework, but it's not the only one. Let's look at some others. Let kids be kids. Students spend about 7 hours a day in school. Most of that time they are thinking, listening, reading, and writing. Pretty exhausting stuff. kids have little time during the school day to relax or spend time with friends. When children get home from school, they need to unwind. They need time to unwind. They do not need to do more schoolwork. Most adults don't come home from a full day at work and do even more work for their jobs, so why should kids? Teachers do. Oh, sorry, Skippy was talking. Anyway, so why should kids? So now, readers, what have you learned so far from the first part of this article? Turn to your partner. In the first part of the article, I learned that there's no clear evidence that homework helps kids learn.
I learned in the section Let Kids Be Kids that students spend almost 7 hours working in school and then have to do more work at home. No fair.
All right, let's move on, readers, shall we? Let families be families. Homework is a burden for kids, but can be a burden for moms and dads too. After a long day, parents are tired. The last thing they want to do is keep reminding the reluctant children, do your homework. Homework can be confusing or difficult, and parents don't always have time to help. This means that kids must sometimes struggle through hard homework assignments on their own. And moms and dads are left feeling guilty for not helping. This is stress that busy families don't need. Families need time to do enjoyable things together. Many children and their parents say goodbye in the morning and often don't see each other again until after 5 o'clock. That leaves only a few hours for family time before going to bed. It's important for families to spend a little time that they have together talking, reading, and doing things they enjoy. So readers, what have you learned in this part of the article? Turn to your partner.
In this part of the article, I learned that homework is not only stressful for kids, but parents also get stressed about it too.
I learned in this section that sometimes homework interferes with fun things that families do together. Thank you, guys. Who likes homework? If you ask students if they like homework, many probably say they do not. Because students associate homework with school, negative feelings about homework can turn into negative feelings about school, and disliking school makes learning more difficult. Is homework worth the stress, family conflict, and loss of interest in learning that it seems to cause? The answer is no. So readers, based on reading one time there, can you tell what the author's opinion is about how they feel about homework? Yes, I see that Batman has his hand raised. I don't think the author is in favor of homework because they give many reasons why it is people don't like it. Why people don't like it. Thanks, Batman. All right, so we're going to read, readers, we're going to read this article a second time. And this time, look at the title. Notice it says, Homework, Who Needs It? Judging from the language there, it might be kind of obvious that the author is not in favor of homework. But what you're going to be doing this time is paying attention to the reasons the author gives. Is homework good for kids? Do kids learn more if they do homework? Teachers, students, and parents have been debating these questions for many years. Oops, I added many, just for years. Many students have looked at the impact of homework on student learning, but there's no clear evidence that homework helps students learn more. In fact, one 2012 study found no significant relationship between time spent on homework and grades. That's one argument against homework, but it's not the only one. Let's look at some others. So, readers, what is a reason or an important idea in this section that supports the author's opinion that homework is not helpful?
Batman?
One reason the author gives that there's no significant relationship between homework and grades. Yeah, that is an interesting reason. I don't know if I agree with that reason, but it is an interesting reason. Let's read on. Let kids be kids. Students spend about 7 hours a day in school. Most of the time they are thinking, listening, reading, and writing. Pretty exhausting stuff. Kids have little time during the school day to relax or spend time with friends. When children get home from school, they need time to unwind. They do not need to do more schoolwork. Most adults don't come home from a full day of work and do even more work out for their jobs. So, why should kids? So now, what's a reason or important idea in this section that supports the author's opinion that homework is not helpful? Robin? Robin?
A reason the kids give that homework is bad is that kids, like adults, need to wind down after a busy day. They shouldn't have to do more work.
Thank you, Robin. Let families be families. Homework is a burden for kids, but it can be a burden for moms and dads too. After a long day, parents are tired. The last thing they want to do is keep reminding their reluctant children, do your homework. Homework can be confusing or difficult, but parents don't always have time to help. This means that kids must sometimes struggle through hard homework assignments on their own, and moms and dads are left feeling guilty for not helping. This is stress that busy families don't need. Families need time to do enjoyable things together. Many children and their parents say goodbye in the morning and often don't see each other again until 5 o'clock, until after 5 o'clock. That leaves only a few hours for family time before going to bed. It's important for families to spend the little time that they have together talking, reading, and doing things that they enjoy. So in this section, let families be families, readers. What's a reason in this section that supports the author's opinion? Robin?
In this section, let families be families, the author says that families only see each other for a few hours before it's bedtime.
Interesting point, Robin. Who likes homework? If you ask students if they like homework, many will probably say that they do not. Because students associate homework with school, negative feelings about homework can turn into negative feelings about school, and disliking school makes learning more difficult. Is homework worth the stress, family conflict, and loss of interest in learning that it seems to cause? The answer is no. So what is the reason in this section that supports the author's opinion?
Batman?
In the last section, who likes homework? A reason that supports the author's opinion is that if a kid starts to not like homework, they might start to not like school at all. Interesting. Yeah, I was kind of thinking myself on this too, is that I know that as a parent, it is stressful when kids bring their homework home and it's hard to help them, especially if you don't have time. I can imagine right now with a lot of your families at home, with lots of work going on or not enough work going on, whatever the case may be, it might be hard for you to do your homework at home. And I know it's hard for my family right now. And I'm just glad I kind of remember how to multiply fractions, because that's the homework that my 5th grader is doing right now. So anyway, he's not a big fan of homework right now at the moment at all. So I can sympathize. All right, readers. For our individualized daily reading today, your job is to read for 25 minutes. You can pick any genre you like now. You can get books on Raz Kids or Epic. And also remember your reading comprehensions chart. Monitor your thinking as you read. Now, remember that we were talking about visualization, making inferences about characters, asking questions and wondering, thinking about what you've learned. And then as you read on your own today, notice when you stop and make these connections. Now, after you're done reading, I want you to go back to Seesaw and click the Add Response button and share what you read today and the strategy you used. Next time, day 4, we're going to compare the 2 articles that we read. Smile, You've Got Homework, and Homework, Who Needs It? So we'll be doing some thinking about it, and we'll be doing some writing. And my guys will be back with me next time. So tune in the next bat time, same bat channel. I wonder how many of you will understand that reference. Anyway, it's time for IDR. Off you go.